Meet Brad Katsuyama. His business is based on convincing you there's something majorly wrong with the stock market, the heart of American capitalism. He was one of the stars of a Michael Lewis book, Flash Boys, about that very topic. 60 Minutes did a feature on him.
Right.
And he had intense live debates on CNBC.
It's a yes or no question. Do you believe it or not?
I believe the market's a rig.
Okay, so there you go.
And I also think that you're a part of the rigging. So if you want to do this, let's do this.
I really do.
So let's
I'd never been on TV until 60 Minutes. It's changed my life in both good and bad ways, I guess. But 98% of it's been positive, a huge amount of support. I try to lead a relatively low-key life, so having people hate you is an interesting byproduct.
Now, 2 years after being in the spotlight, his company, IEX, is officially taking on the big players, the New York Stock Exchange and Nasdaq. It got SEC approval to become a national securities exchange, and tickers will start trading publicly on August 19th. Why? Because Katsuyama says certain traders in the stock market have an unfair advantage. They have technology that allows them to see prices before everyone else, and then the computers they use to trade can act on that data. He says the existing exchanges have a conflict of interest because they sell products that let these investors conduct faster trades.
The reason we started IEX is because the exchanges themselves are the enablers of what's happening. The exchange is like the referee, and the buyer and the sellers are like the two teams that are playing. The referee should really have no bias on whether one team wins over another. They really shouldn't. But in the market, the exchange as the referee is selling an advantage that they know a certain group of people can utilize versus another. And in many ways, the referee is biased in the outcome. It hurts the integrity of the game. There are times when a high-speed trader is sold information and has access that's faster than other participants. The stocks just tick lower, and they want to sell at a price that's higher. They can race to IEX. The speed bump essentially means that order goes into a coil, and as the order's going around the coiled cable, IEX gets the information. The stock has moved lower, which means that we're not going to allow trades to happen at any price but the most accurate price. So essentially that speed bump is designed to slow down the fastest participants to ensure that people are trading on fair terms.
But that's only if the high-speed trader is using your platform, right?
That's right.
They
don't have to. They don't have to if they don't want to.
They can go to the New York Stock Exchange and get
Absolutely.
a proprietary feed.
Yes.
Right?
So I think one of the big pushes to approve IEX was to say that our model depends on people choosing to use our platform.
Other exchanges aren't very happy about traders getting IEX as a choice. In a letter to the SEC, the New York Stock Exchange complained that IEX is an unfair, complex, and opaque exchange. Is your technology so proprietary that someone can't come in and offer the same exact service for the same exact price?
I mean, we have patents on certain things, but in many ways, I think, given what we just went through, any new exchange has to go through what we just went through.
Do they, or have you cleared the road for them?
I think we've cleared a bit of a road, but the scrutiny is going to be intense, and I think, in many ways, I think it'd be hard to replicate the relationship and the trust we have with the big investors. So I think that'll be probably the hardest thing to replicate.
Can Wall Street, you think, regain the public trust?
I think Wall Street will eventually regain the public's trust. I mean, Wall Street it's an essential function to the economy. It can't be automated in many ways. It funds a lot of the big activity in the economy, so it just takes time. I think society is becoming more and more transparent. People's access to information is increasing, and I think, it's amazing what some people will do when they think nobody's looking. And so I think over the course of time, certain firms, certain institutions, certain industries have made bad choices, and the consequences of that have kind of come to bear in a very public way. A lot of times we come in here and think that, what we're fighting for is more than just, a stock exchange. I think what we're fighting for is a much broader story. It is about regaining trust. It's about more transparent markets. It's about, in many ways, just trying to do the right thing.